Hey, everybody, welcome back to the GBJ podcast. This is episode 2, season 2, and we've got ourselves an all girl cast today. So, girls, I'm going to let you take over. Tell us what you're talking about today.
We're going to be talking about recess.
One thing about recess that I feel is kind of unfair is that we can only have 3 people in a group. Like, if you want to walk around, it can only be 3 people. But that's kind of unfair for people who have a group of friends, like 4 people or 5.
Yeah, it's just like I want to be walking around with all my friends, and a noon duty always comes in and says, four in a group or not sit down on the benches.
I agree the same thing because like all I could do is just like I want to walk instead of sitting down on a bench, but at the same time the bench is kind of better.
I think we have to fix the grass because there's a lot of red ants.
Yeah, true. Like, sometimes if you step on, like, there's like a lot of hills, and then some of them are ant hills. So if you step on one, and then there's just ants crawling up your foot.
I also agree the same thing because I always get bit by ants on my leg, but it kind of like is annoying nowadays.
Like, around a tree, the trees, there's a lot of ants, so they just crawl up your arm or your leg, yeah, and bite you.
I feel like we should have longer recesses because it's only 20 minutes, especially on minimum days. It's only 10 minutes that you only have time to use the restroom and get water, and then you have to get lined up.
Yeah, because, like, recess is kind of for playing, and recess is kind of for playing, and you can't really do much on a minimum day because you don't have the later recess, and you only have 10 minutes in the morning. So you get use the restroom, and then you have no time to do anything.
I agree to that, and sometimes we need to use a restroom and we have to like get ready to line up.
I agree the same thing because every time all we do is just get water and use the restroom and we just line up, but sometimes we could just run and it's kind of like a whole recess too.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ritzy, because the running is basically not too many people run. It's more like a walk. So you can just walk and talk to your friends. It's kind of like extra recess, but you can be in a bigger crowd of people.
I was in fourth when the playground got broken. They fixed the swings, but then now they don't allow it, and there's only 30 seconds, and I feel like that's just not fair.
I'm pretty sure they said that they were gonna try and fix it, but it's been broken for years, and I don't know. It's not too much there anymore.
I agree the same thing because like they always say that they're gonna fix it. They only like lets people sit on like the little monkey bars, but at the same time they should fix it because we only just walk around.
Yeah, and even when you like walk by it, they're like you have to stay away from it because the slide's broken, and if you fall into the slide and get hurt, they're in trouble for getting you hurt.
And I agree. And second graders are like the most active, and I feel like they should have something to play around with, like the playground and swings and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's like less to do. Well, there was like less to do because all you can do is sit on the swings, and sometimes when you're sitting on the swings, they tell you not to.
I think we should fix the grass because it's always wet when it's rainy.
I agree because it's like always wet and really long. So if you're wearing pants, your shoes will get dirty because the grass is long and wet, and your pants will get dirty.
Well, and you said something about the grass is always wet when it rains, but it seems like the grass is always wet all the time, even when it didn't rain. Like we get here in the morning and they're like, "Stay off the grass, it's wet." And it was like 90 degrees the day before and you're like, "Why is the grass wet?"
Yeah, I think they need new sprinklers.
I feel like they're broken, but like I feel like kids should get their fun to play around. I feel like they should fix that.
I think the same thing because every day when we go to school, they just say that the grass is wet and we can't go on it. And like sometimes people want to play soccer or just like sit by the tree in the grass, but they can't do that.
I feel like it's because they have you go outside but no grass, which leaves a small bit of space. So I feel like it's better to have inclement weather because like being inside would be better than being in the heat doing nothing.
I also think they should play tag like at recess time, cause at least like if the football are playing like football, and then we can't play tag, and then I think we should like play tag at recess, but it's not unfair that the foot that Mr. Neto could like play football and we cannot play tag.
Yeah, because like they say not to touch each other kafuti, but then they're playing flag football, what you do touch each other, and I don't know, they say not to touch each other or you get in trouble, but it's like kind of unfair because they play flag football and you can't play like tag or anything like that, and like um, basketball too.
And I totally agree because base base that game that Mr. Nieto plays is much rougher than tag.
I think the same thing because like the football is like more rougher than tag, and tag is like I get it that we're to get hurt and stuff, but sometimes we could be just a bit careful.
They can rarely even like play that anymore either way because the sprinkler is always making it really muddy, and like whenever we're standing in line, since it's like the class doesn't even have to be that big, but you always the back of the line is always in the mud.
Also, in flag football, sometimes I see like people falling and pushing.
Yeah, and their pants get all wet, and then they have to go up to the office to call their parents to tell them to get them a new pair of clothes. And I feel like that happened to a lot of kids today.
When only the slide is broken, they could just like put maybe people in front of the slide telling you not to go on the slide because it's broken. Because it's only like the one of the slides that are broken too. You could still use the playground. I mean, it
I
is a little bit.
agree. I agree, but like I see people on the swing a lot too, but they don't get in trouble. But they still should like fix the slide because some people want to go on the slide and have fun instead of walking.
Yeah, and the fact that they don't let you go on the swings even though they're not broken, and they only and if you do get on go on it, the other person has to count to 30, and then you have to get off.
But like the swings aren't broken, but Miss T said that you can use the swings now, and sometimes people use the swings and like the new records, since there's a lot of new records, they tell you to get off the swings because they say it's broken.
I think we should like play on the swings, and like I think it should say something on the playground. Like it should not like do not play on the playground and only the swings.
Um, Another thing about how glass is always muddy is that like sometimes I like to play tag, but I can't. And soccer, like you know how the flag football, soccer players aren't gentle either though. So it's like even more dangerous because you could get hit in the face by a ball.
Sometimes I see people getting hurt in basketball and like sometimes in soccer.
Yeah, and I feel like it's too much for the librarian to take care of. I mean the nurse.
People playing basketball always get hurt for some reason. So like all the kids in my class who play basketball, something happened.
I agree because I always see people playing basketball and soccer, and I see people like at soccer. I see people on the grass like all laying down with their head hurt or the leg, and I see them like when I walk in the office. I see a lot of people in the nurse's office.
Yeah, and like sometimes when because they can't use the actual soccer net, whatever goal, they play soccer off to the side, but sometimes it's going over to where the basketball is, and the people sitting at the benches almost get hit. And with the basketballs, they almost get hit when they miss.
That was a good discussion on recess and the ways that we can fix recess. And before we move on to our next subject, we're going to do our top 5 list. So I have a top 5 list of the top 5 things to do at recess, and I want to hear what you all think about these top 5. So are you girls ready for it? Okay. Number 5 is jump rope.
Fourth and third grade, a lot of people like used the jump rope, but not really now. I don't even know if our class has a jump rope.
Yeah, I agree. There's like no more people use the jump rope, and they're not like in classes no more.
I also agree because I think like mostly the kindergartens will use the jump rope instead of like the fifth graders or the fourth graders because it's not really that interesting or entertaining.
Like sometimes in fourth grade, people would be playing using the jump ropes, but maybe in third grade too, but not really now. Or yeah,
Okay. So number 4 on the list, duck duck goose.
actually, even though I left, me and my friends just get so bored by the trees, and we sit in a circle and play duck duck goose.
Okay. Number 3 is soccer.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people play it. I think like they more fourth or fifth people like to play soccer.
I agree with the Alondra. It's just like a lot of people get hurt, but at the same time, it's kind of fun watching people play.
I agree to like to see. Sometimes I see people getting hurt and like going to the nurse's office.
Yeah, but a lot of people like playing soccer, and soccer is a good thing to play at recess. So I feel like that's a good fourth place.
Okay. Number 2 on the list is kickball.
No, I do not know what that is. I never played it before.
Me neither.
Okay, so kickball is basically like baseball or softball, but instead of having a ball that you hit, you kick the ball. So you have somebody rolls the ball to the person who's at bat, and that person kicks the ball, and then they run to first base, and it's just like baseball, but with kicking instead of hitting. Obviously, that's not the number 2 when it comes to our school because you guys have no idea what it is.
I think kickball should be at like the like number 4. No, number 3.
Maybe kickball could be at like 5, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with Zia.
I also agree with Zia because honestly, not really anybody knows what kickball nowadays.
For a second, I thought you were just talking about kicking the ball back and forth.
Okay, so the number 1 thing to do at recess, according to this top 5 list, and our principal and vice principal are not going to be happy to hear that this is number 1 because we were just talking about it. The number 1 thing is tag.
Me personally, I thought it was gonna be basketball because a lot of people play it, but I never seen people play tag no more.
Because it's not allowed. But I feel like for the lower grades, it would be more like a thing, but you're not allowed to play tag, so I feel like that's a good number 1. Maybe number 2, actually. I feel like kickball shouldn't be there.
I agree with Zia. It's like tag. Nobody really plays it, but I would honestly play it if it was allowed.
I think we should like actually like bring tag back because it's like all these like flag football are like playing rough and not and like they're like mostly pushing and getting each other hurt.
Yeah, like I feel like the rule of not touching each other and being getting in trouble when you like play a game where you touch people at recess is kind of interesting because they let you play like games like flag football, basketball, and soccer.
I think tag should be allowed. It's not even that rough, mostly. But yeah,
Like people get hurt all the time. Maybe you accidentally hit someone in the face, but worse has probably happened with the other games.
Joining us today on the GBJ podcast is Mr. Motta. Thank you for being here. Can you tell us, can you tell our viewers what your job is?
Good afternoon. ¿Cómo están todos? Buenas tardes. Absolutely. My job is, first of all, I'm a teacher, but currently I have a position that takes me out of the classroom where I do many things for the school. I help out in many things. I work with small groups with students. I also work with testing, a lot of testing for students. I help the principal, the vice principal, anybody who needs my help. I'm there to support. My position is bilingual program facilitator.
what do you like best about your job?
The best part of my job is that I get to work with students. I get to interact with students every single day, which, as I said, I'm a teacher first. So I love to connect with students, to work with students, to teach students, to listen to students. So that's my favorite part of my job, working with students. But I also like that I'm able to help um, my staff, my team. I love to be of service to anybody who needs it. So I love just being of service.
Why did you want this job?
Um, why did I want this job? Well, I didn't. When I was in college, I actually wanted to be, first, I wanted to be a lawyer. I also was a theater major. I wanted to be an actor. In fact, teaching was definitely not one of my goals in life. My motto, or what I used to say when people wanted to be teachers, I would say, why go to school to stay in school? But then I met somebody that I ended up marrying. I met her in college and she wanted to be a teacher. That's all she wanted to do. That was her dream, to be a teacher. So one day she wanted to interview for to be a teacher, and she told me if I would go with her. And so I told her, yeah, let's go. And they were looking for teachers. They were looking for bilingual teachers back in 1997. I was about to graduate from college, and then they were looking for teachers. So they not only interviewed my wife, but they said, "Do you want to interview too?" So I said, "Sure, absolutely." And remember when I told you guys that I said, "Why go to school to stay in school?" Well, it turns out that I started in kindergarten. That was my first position in teaching. I ended up in kindergarten, and I loved it. My favorite grade to teach is kindergarten. I also love teaching fourth grade. I already forgot the question.
I know before this you taught first grade dual. What other jobs have you had?
I used to work at a baseball equipment store. I used to help in the shipping department, in the returns department. This was before Amazon. I would work in a warehouse. And if somebody didn't want something, they would have to call, and I would be the one in charge of deciding whether they would get a refund for the item or not. Then I moved to another job where I was a check cashier. I work with money. People that couldn't have bank accounts, they would come to this check cashing store, and I would cash checks. That was before I became. After that, my next job was a teacher. Then I've also been a vice principal. So that those were my different jobs before I was in my current position that I'm in right now.
What is your dream job?
I believe that I'm living my dream job. I've been in education for about 26 years. I lost count already, but I believe that I truly am living my dream, which is to teach. I didn't know that I was gonna love it so much. I still want to be an actor. I still want to come out in a movie. I still would love to do other things, but my passion, really my dream job is to be a teacher, and that's what I'm doing still. Even though I do other things in this school, not just teach, but teaching is definitely my passion.
What do you like to do outside of school?
What I Does anybody want to try to guess what I like to do outside of school? Does anybody know what my hobbies are? Something that I really love?
Maybe run?
That is the number one thing that I love to do, running. And after that, I love to play chess. That's another one of my hobbies, playing chess.
How long were you a teacher before this new position?
I've been a teacher for, let me see, let me count. I taught 1 year in Riverside, 7 years in Rialto, Riverside Unified for 1 year, 7 years in Rialto Unified. Then I taught 8 more years at Belvedere Elementary here in San Bernardino. Then I taught at Jones Elementary for 18 days. So what's that? 8 years, 18 days. And then I became a vice principal for 7 years. That was a break from teaching. Then I'm going to say another 4 years. So what is that? 8 plus 4, 13? About 13 years. I honestly, I lost track, about 13 to 14 years as a teacher, mostly bilingual. I've been teaching dual immersion most of the time that I've been a teacher, but I've also taught mainstream, which is all in English, and bilingual students where they need support in Spanish.
Mr. Motta, thank you so much for joining us on the GBJ podcast today.
Thank you for inviting me. It was an honor to be a part of this, and I want to tell you guys that you guys are awesome. I'm excited to watch the next episodes, and I hope that you guys have a successful season in the podcast. Thank you. Thank you.
So I know that everyone here who is on camera has siblings. So we're going to talk about siblings. Go ahead, take it away.
My siblings are annoying sometimes, as in every day.
Yes, me personally, I think they're annoying, but sometimes they always have your back, especially. But I prefer the older siblings and than the younger siblings.
I agree to Londra because some of my siblings are mean, but sometimes they have my back and sometimes they get me angry.
I disagree with Alonzo because I am the youngest sibling, and personally, I don't think I'm annoying.
I agree, but like the thing is, sometimes my older brothers are like really annoying, and like they kind of annoying because they always like make a fight with me, or either I made the fight with them, but I'll still have the back.
I feel like siblings are like also like nice sometimes, but I have to say I live with my sister, and it's like kind of annoying doing that.
Sometimes my siblings like get me in trouble, and I will always hate that because my mom will always believe them, and I will always get in trouble.
Actually, now that I think about it, I probably am annoying because whenever I'm fighting with my like when I'm like actually really mad, I just like cry, and then usually my second oldest brother, but I usually cry, and then he gets in trouble because he's smiling and I'm crying. So yeah.
I agree, but I have like this little sister. She cries all night, and it's kind of annoying because I can never sleep.
Yeah, siblings can be nice though. Like my older sister and my older brothers are actually nice sometimes.
Before we get wrapped up the podcast, what is one thing that you like about your siblings?
One thing that I like about my siblings is that they always sometimes have my back.
My favorite, well, like one thing I like about my siblings is doing stuff with them, and all the time at home, me and my brothers and sometimes my sister, we fake fight, like punch fight. Yeah, and it's fun.
I agree. I love my siblings, but at the same time, they're annoying. But my favorite thing about my siblings would have to be like they have my back, and sometimes they're like protect me by like others.
My favorite thing about my siblings, like what Zia said, like big fight, and said like pillow fight, and they're also like team to McDonald's because I'm always hungry, and my parents will. Mr. Rogers, I have a question for you. Did have you ever like did you ever have you ever got your sibling annoyed, or did your sibling get you annoyed?
Yeah, so I grew up with two older brothers and a younger sister, and we fought all the time. Like we would get in arguments all the time. I will tell you though, as annoying as siblings are, um, my brother and my sister are two of my best friends in the whole entire world now. I don't know what I would do without them. So as annoying as your siblings are when you're young, when you grow up, you really grow to count on them, and um, you experience life with them. All of your memories when you are young, you share with them, and so your relationship with your siblings is so much different than your relationship with anybody else, and I get that they're super annoying right now, but you guys will grow to appreciate them. But yes, to answer your question, yes, there were lots of times when my siblings annoyed me, and there were lots of times when I annoyed my siblings because that's that's family, right?
If you had a baby sister or baby brother, which one would you like fight the most?
Well, I had a baby sister, so I mean, I guess she wasn't a baby sister; she was a year younger than me. But I had a little sister. Um, I don't know. I argued with my sister a lot because we were close in age. My two older brothers, they were 5 and 6 years older than me, and my sister and I were both within a year of each other. So we were always at the same school, and we were friends with the same people. So we always were in each other's lives. Whereas my older brothers, they were off in high school when I was in elementary school, so we didn't really have the same experiences growing up other than vacations and stuff like that.
My older siblings, like one of them is around my age, and then one of them's 2 years older than me, and the others are like 3 and 7 years older than me. So my brother is in high school, but I do hang out with him, and when I do stuff with him, it makes me feel included. So it's fun.
My most favorite sibling, I have to say, would be like my little sister because my older brothers are way annoying than my little sister.
Your older brother just
Okay,
told
I
me
just got
that.
to say really quickly, Yuretsi, that is cold with your brother sitting right there.
Yeah, let's see. He told that. My parents' favorite child is definitely my older sister, cause she's like apparently a great daughter. Yeah, I could disagree. I feel like I'm personally a better daughter, but yeah, I'm pretty sure she's the favorite.
Before we get wrapped up, what what sibling do you hate the most?
I think we're going to go ahead and pass on that question because this episode is going to be on the internet where anyone can watch it, and we don't want to say how much we hate our siblings.
What about least favorite though? Like, there's difference between least favorite and most annoying and hate. Yeah, what about most annoying sibling?
I think I think we can leave that question out. So we are running out of time. Um, Girls, I really appreciate your thoughts on everything that we talked about. You guys did an amazing job, and I'm really looking forward to seeing all four of you on camera again. And I want to thank everybody, all the other students who are here who participated. You guys can't see them on camera, but we've got what, 9 other students who are here, who are participating, who are writing questions and handing those notes over. And you probably saw teachers coming and handing notes to these guys to have them ask the questions because everyone is participating. So you might only see 4 people on camera, but this is an entire group who is working hard to bring you guys the best content possible. So girls, I want to thank you so much for everything that you did today. You guys, I want to thank you for everything that you did. I want to thank Mr. Motta for stopping by and answering our questions. And we look forward to seeing you again for episode 3. Thank you so much, girls. Thank you. Bye.
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 Thanks for watching.